Hi everyone, and thank you for being with me. I'm going to talk about a subject today which is pretty dear to my heart, given that I've worked in the child protection space for nearly over 3 decades now. And this came about because of a Four Corners report into the NDIS and the use of services to, change the behaviour of children who had Asperger's or were had some sort of intellectual challenge. And what I found was that the information that was provided through the Four Corners program indicated to me that there's a lot of services that are being offered which are not scrutinised as they should be, and which are in effect abusive of children. Now, we're talking about the most vulnerable community that you could imagine. And of course, we're talking about children, which makes them even more vulnerable. And the parents of these children often feel powerless and ineffective in terms of challenging the systems that are implemented in order to control these children, in order to try and find ways to improve their behaviours. And there's a particular example that I'm about to show you, which is an excerpt from the Four Corners program, which highlights the abusive nature of these particular types of interventions. Now, I understand that there's a great deal of struggle that is involved in trying to find appropriate systems or interventions to work with some of these kids. I know that sometimes the best intervention is simply some sense of caring, loving, appreciation, talking to them about the positive things that these kids are doing in their lives, and demonstrating to them and modelling to them care and understanding. But some of these programs provide something that's completely different. They are abusive, they are authoritarian, they are demanding in the extreme, they are asking and expecting things of children which are totally unreasonable. And there's an example of that which I'm about to show you, where this young kid who has Asperger's, I think, and how a system is employed in order to try and control him. Now, this is not about controlling kids. This is about understanding the issues that these children face and find ways to help them through and navigate through those systems. But to do it as these people are suggesting, without any true evidence that this system actually works, and then to have these systems funded to the tunes of millions of dollars, and people that are running these programs don't have any qualifications whatsoever to do so. Now, how in the hell that gets through in terms of appropriate accountability in regards to the department and the funding of these programs is beyond me. And I think this is one of these instances where the government has to be held account for funding programs that are simply inappropriate and, even worse, are abusive of children. Leaves me wondering what in the hell the government is doing in order to actually protect these children from the abuse that they receive at the hands of these interventionists. So here's the example that I'm going to present to you. So this is a young child, and then the mother talks about the program, and then we see the way the intervention is performed, which is in itself horrific.
It was over $500,000. I mean, they've given you this enormous amount of money for this program. Why wouldn't you believe in it? Why would you think that it's not right?
Jayden had most of his therapy at Irabina before his treatment moved to the family home.
Straight ahead.
Petra saw Jayden being asked to comply with instructions over and over again.
I actually think it's quite distressing when one hears the degree to which this child is distressed. That in itself must be a strong indicator that this program is not working, that in fact it is extremely abusive.
She was alarmed and decided to film it.
So they would ask him to follow an instruction, and if he refused, they would force him to follow that instruction. So, for example, if they asked him to brush his teeth and he refused, they would continue to deliver that exact same instruction for anything up to a couple of hours until they forced him to brush his teeth.
Sitting in the centre of the room.
No!
5 seconds. 5.
To the centre of the room, I'll move you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the question is, why would he have to sit in the centre of the room? What's this all about? Like, how in the hell does that make any sense to this child whatsoever? He'd be asking himself, why am I supposed to be sitting in the centre of the room? This is about him supposedly learning to follow instructions. But no one is going to follow instructions if they're purposeless, if they make no sense. I just find this absolutely horrific.
They would just repeat over and over to move into the centre of the room, or we will.
And the other question I'd like to ask is, who are these people that are performing this program? Should they not be held accountable? These young people that are here performing this abusive behaviour on this young person, should they not be held up for child abuse? I think they should be, and I think all of us should start to make a stand against them.
We'll move you. And if he didn't move, they would physically move him, even if he was shouting and screaming at them to stop, and they wouldn't stop.
Jaden, you're not keeping a calm hand and cool body. Jaden, moving to the centre of the room, or the teacher will move you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here, the therapists want Jaden to sit on a cushion.
Centre of the room.
It was so disgraceful and so horrific and so traumatic and so wrong. Like, through the entire program, I would go to them with my concerns, and I would end up in the CEO's office being convinced that I was the one that was wrong.
And that's it. So, and there's another example they present where they're doing exactly the same exercise with another young child, a different child from Jared. But it's horrific to watch, and to think that somebody along the line is validating this, or at least saying that that this is okay. Who could ever, what person in their right mind could ever look at this sort of behaviour and say that it's appropriate or that it's even helpful? It isn't. It is abuse. And we failed to recognise it as such, it seems to me. And those people that are implementing these interventions should be held accountable, and they should be charged, actually, with child abuse. So why isn't this happening? Why is it that we don't care enough about these kids? Is it because they, in our view, sit at the lower end of the spectrum, that they're disabled kids, and the mothers themselves and the parents are made to feel powerless because these people are supposed to have this magic solution for these children, a solution that these people don't have, but are given millions of dollars in order to implement, and only to find out that at the end of the day, that whole process is abusive. Why isn't it that these people aren't charged? Why isn't it that they're fined? Why are they given so much money in order to implement abusive interventions such as this one? I do not know. I'd be interested to know with your comments below. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got more of these videos coming out about the abuse that some of these children are receiving, and I think it's about time we found a way to be able to take some action against them. So let me know what you think. Put your comments in below. Become an activist for children. I think it's vital that we do. Children are the most vulnerable cohort in our community, and we must stand up for them. We must find a way to be able to call them out. And thank God Four Corners have been able to do this. But I don't know what repercussions there have been as a result of this Four Corners program. I hope the people that instigated this program are fined. I hope that the people that actually were implementing this abuse on this child are charged with abuse, and that the chief executive of the organisation themselves is charged as well and hopefully jailed. What do you think? Place a comment below. I'd be great to hear from you. Now just take care, look after yourselves, look after everybody, look after children in particular. Take care. Bye.